Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to the Fighters Rep podcast, not sponsored by O'Doul's. I'm with my amazing co-host in behavior, Gary Martin. Today we're going to be talking about, on the Fighters Rep podcast, Fighters Rep 24. This is the official post-fight recap of Gary, what was an absolutely sensational event, man. This event was sensational, and I know it's crazy that it's just an amateur kickboxing event that we put on this last weekend and the one before. But my goodness, this was absolutely nuts. I think we're creating some real stars. I think these guys have some real personalities. And I was just blown away by this card, Gary. All I could remember is 6 fights in, we already had 5 stoppages.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, oh my goodness, what's happening here? You know what I mean? So incredible card. I want to thank everybody who participated. Before we get into each individual fight, I want to thank everyone who participated, especially the fighters, the coaches, and Knucklehead Nation, the greatest fans on the planet, including, I can't forget our staff, Sasha, Adam, Remy, Gary, Johanna, everybody on the staff and the commission, everybody on at the IKF who made it possible. So, Gary, before we get into it, what were your kind of overall thoughts on the card since you were helping run the live stream and basically watch the whole thing?
I mean, I thought it was a crazy card. It was you got your knockouts. In Fighters Rep 23, we didn't have that many knockouts in Fighter Rep 23, even though it was great fights. But it wasn't stoppage. It was great fights. But this one was, you had your knockouts, you had your bang out brawls. I want to say which one is
Salvador De La Paz.
De La Paz and Caleb.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. De La Paz and Caleb. That was probably the fight of the night. They were going at it.
Gary, that was crazy. That fight was crazy, Gary.
Yeah. So that was a good night, man. You got your money's worth. I thought it was gonna be a short night the way it started. I was like, well, this ain't gonna be a long stream here, buddy.
I know. People were getting brutalized on this card.
And,
that's why I got a lot of respect for all these fighters, because this kickboxing rule says something different, man. It's just brutal. It's not, you can't hide behind a takedown. You can't hide behind that clinch for that long, Gary. If you're hurt, if you're tired, this is not the rule set for you. You know what I mean? This rule set is not friendly. This is a kill or be killed, one shot, one kill type of rule set. And it was an incredible night. So let's start off with our first fight of the night. And Gary, you know my strategy. That first fight of the night has got to be one that I think is a banger, and one that I think is going to set the tone for the evening. And my goodness, did they set the tone for the evening. You had Andrew Gutierrez out of Hard Works Fitness, and then you had Ruben Muro out of Blackbeard Kickboxing, 2 gyms we always work with. Obviously, Hung is the owner. He also helps us matchmake. He's basically our matchmaker. He's incredible. And he's the coach for Andrew Gutierrez at Hard Works. And, of course, Jason Caldwell out of Blackbeard Kickboxing, coaching Ruben Muro. And I knew this fight was going to be great. I knew this fight was going to be a banger. If I'm being honest with you, Gary, I thought this was a really good fight. I thought Muro pulled out the first round. I thought he was ahead. I thought he was fighting beautifully. I thought he was cutting off the ring on Andrew, making him fight going backwards. I thought Andrew was, trying to find his distance, and was just having a bit of trouble with Muro at the beginning. Muro's a very scrappy guy.
Mm-hmm.
In the second round, I thought he made some adjustments. I thought he looked better in the second round. I thought the second was a toss-up, but, I thought you could have given it to either guy. But for me, it looked like Muro was winning heading into that third round potentially, because the second one was a toss-up and the first one for sure was Muro. And then he just made this incredible move, did Gutierrez, where, it's like he feinted a teep or something like that. I think it was a feint of a teep or a kick of some sort that got Muro to bite. And, this is a cruel game, man. And, he threw a real kick right after that feint that landed right on the side of the head. And it was just, I mean, I applaud the bravery of Muro to get back up and continue to try to fight. But Gutierrez knew he had him, did a little bit of showboating. I think you saw it. He's from San Pedro. He had his crowd there, and he was trying to play to them. And, they were doing a little bit of jawing and smiling back and forth. So, he felt like he got the upper hand, and he goes in there and gets the stoppage. Beautiful debut by Andrew Gutierrez. And, Muro, obviously a guy we always want back because this was a great fight until he got clipped. And, that's the game. That's the game, right? There's the clip clause. Anybody can get clipped out.
I kind of
thoughts on the fight.
I kind of felt how you felt. I thought Muro was winning the first round. He winning the first round, his aggression coming in. And I felt like it took Andrew a little bit to like get used to him. And I felt Andrew won the second round. I thought it was a good round, but I thought Andrew won it. I thought he was winning the third one when he caught him. And I thought it just took him, gauging, seeing what Muro was doing, and then okay, I know it. Then you start seeing shots land more frequently, hard shots.
Yeah.
And that's like you say, that's the game. You get caught. Once he got caught, it was pretty much over after that.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But I thought the right person was going to win it anyway.
I see. Well, I want to go ahead and encourage people, not only subscribe to the channel, but drop your comments, your questions in the chat. We are going to go over every single one of them. And we'll hit a couple right now. We got Halls 182 saying, shout out to my cousin Tony Cat, TKO for 39. He's still got it. Fell short. Close fight with Nathan Hawthorne, but was awesome. On to the next one. Still got his belt, though. That's true. He did make weight, did what he was supposed to do, got his belt. We'll definitely talk about that fight in a bit. Shout out to Tony. Looked incredible. 39, 29, 19. He looked incredible. Kiflam says, Sugar Bomb Squad here. What a great fight night. Every fight was nonstop action. Thanks, George and staff. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Does he bring his whole gym out there?
Man, every time. And, kind of wish more of these fighters would sell tickets and do that. Hint, hint. Faithful Fighter Gabrielle says, pure violence by Majali. It absolutely was, and we'll definitely hit on that incredible fight as well. So let's go on to the next one. Be sure to subscribe, guys, if you haven't already. And we're going to go on to the next one. Oh, and also join the channel or get you some merch if you want to support. Joining the channel is the best way. It's just $9.99 a month. And Gary, it's the only way that they get to watch these fights if they're not buying a ticket. So up next we had Manuel Camarena versus Noche Nwolfor. The fight was, I believe, at 210 pounds. These were two very big guys. It was a headgear fight, I believe, because this was Camarena's third fight. It was Noche's fourth, I want to say. Great performance by Noche. I felt like Camarena, for whatever reason, looked very nervous in there. Just really didn't get going. Maybe because Noche kind of pounced on him. But if I'm being honest with you, I thought Noche looked a little bit flat too. Typically, the last time I saw Noche, and it might have something to do with the headgear. I felt like he was a bit sharper, but he's been out a long time. So, this was him kind of dusting himself off, getting back in there. Still looked good, landing a couple big devastating blows, got the knockout, and good on him. But I just think, maybe going from headgear and then having to wear it again, I felt like it slowed him down a bit. And maybe it got in Camarena's way a little bit too. You know what I mean?
Slowed him down a little bit.
Well, if you would have seen him in his last fight, I mean, his last fight was he was very explosive. It was over in a blink of an eye. It was still a good performance. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I just felt like he wasn't really getting his distance down as well as he did in the last fight. Maybe because of something Camarena was doing. He was a little bit awkward. He also seemed like he was just trying to survive in there or nervous in there. Maybe that had something to do with it. But congrats to Noche. Another win, another knockout at FightersRep. Man, I need Noche to come back. You hear what I'm saying? I need him to come back and be more consistent so that he can continue to build on this momentum as far as Camarena. Go back to the drawing board, get some more experience, get some more work, and if you want to come out here again, and let's do it. You know what I mean?
I thought Noche, he kind of ran through him. I mean, I mean,
Yeah.
it was something weird going on with Manuel, because even on the broadcast, it's saying like, I don't know, he just never seemed like, it was weird. Like, I know they're saying something about, his shin guard was on the balls of his feet or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what it was. It seemed like he, like you said, nervous. And then once he felt Noche's power, it really felt like he was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
All right. And it wasn't really competitive at all. And it was kind of a one-sided fight. I mean, like I said, I don't know. This is my first time seeing both of them fight.
Yeah.
So, but you say Noche's more sharper. I don't want to see him sharper.
Yeah. No, he was good. He was good, but I felt like he was a bit sharper last time, probably because of the headgear, probably because he wasn't fighting someone that was just trying to survive, basically. I mean, it looked to me, I don't think it was the shin guards. I don't think it was anything. I think maybe just the moment caught up with Camarena. He didn't look comfortable in there. There was a lot of people there. There was a lot of big lights, cameras, a big screen behind you. And, some people, kind of get nervous in that situation. Most of these amateur bouts don't contain all that stuff.
Yeah.
But either way, another great job by Noche. I just feel like, he's a bit inconsistent. I wish I could have him back more often.
Yeah.
I feel like I get him maybe once every 6 months, and it's just not, conducive to, the level of improvement, or to build the fan base necessary or anything like that. I'd like to see him come back more consistently, because he's got a lot of talent and he's got big power and he's explosive. And I'd like to see him develop quicker by getting more fights and staying more active. But big shout out to him and his team victory. Can't really ask for more. Just come back more. That's all I want. David Huey here. 8 stoppages out of 15 fights. That's higher than 50% ratio. Boom. You're damn right. And then Fight Life Nation said, what's up, George? Great night of fights. Can you talk a bit about your relationship with Commerce Casino and maybe how they have helped you to continue to grow Fighters Rep? Well, yeah, I mean, they've helped tremendously. They give me a respectable deal. Of course, it took me quite a bit of work to get that deal. And then it took me quite a bit of work to prove to them that I was worth the relationship as well. They're a venue that just doesn't want anybody in there. And, I showed them, I think we showed them a level of professionalism and trust and success to where, they want us in there. So, shout out to the Commerce Casino. We freaking love that place. And then one other thing I wanted to mention about that fight, I thought Noche's celebration was amazing. I want to say he probably has the best celebrations of any fighter. The last one, I think he put on like an imaginary suit. He picked up an imaginary suitcase and like fixed his tie and walked away. This time he looked at his hands like he had this like uncontrollable power and like he doesn't know what to do with it. It was fantastic.
He's not a man of many words either. He doesn't really like, I just keep coming. Yeah. And show them that they can't do anything about it. That's it.
No, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. So let's go on to the next fight, Gary. At 147 pounds, we had Edgar Fraga out of Classic Fight Team against Ty Petralia out of that Paragon team out there, or Paradox rather team out there in Las Vegas. Fantastic team full of tough guys. Obviously, Classic Fight Team, one of the best teams we deal with as well. And Edgar's a guy, and Ty, I mean, both very exciting. Very exciting. I love to watch Edgar fight. I think the kid has so much talent. And Ty, we just recently got to know him. But, I think he's got some talent too. I think he's kind of, he's got pretty big power as well. I think they both do. I think Edgar's really explosive. And so I was excited about this fight. I thought it was a good development fight for the both of them. And it ended up being so. It ended up being a pretty close fight with Edgar pulling out the split decision. I think he just landed, the more telling shots, Gary, the more significant strikes. And he was just a step ahead maybe of Tai in this fight, and he got the split decision win. What are your thoughts on the fight, if you remember it at all?
I remember. I got it down here, but no, it was a really good fight. I thought it was a good fight. I thought Edgar won it. I thought, especially in the last round, I thought he sealed the deal. I mean, I haven't seen Tai fight. This is my first time seeing him fight. But I thought in the second round, I thought he came on. I gave him the second round. So yeah. I don't know if you gave him the second round, but I thought in the second round he came on pretty good, pretty strong.
He did.
But like you, I thought that Fraga landed the harder punches, the cleaner punches, and that's what, I felt won it over. But I mean, Tai has nothing to hang his head about. He fought a good fight.
Yeah, no, I thought so too. And I think Edgar's here in the chat said my performance wasn't my best. I'm going to work harder to look better in my next fight, and he always goes for the, he wants to finish. That's what I like about this kid. He wants to go out there and finish people. And he's super exciting, and he's willing to be in a dogfight, and he's also technical, because he's training with some of the best people. I mean, he's got the Paez brothers in his corner. He's got Tyler Wombles in his corner. He's got teammates like, Tyler Smith, Anthony Castaneda, Ed Hyman, all these people that train at Classic. It's just a fantastic gym. So, I know he's very technical. That's what I liked about this fight for him, though. He was more technical this time, whereas last time all I got to see was, for the most part, what I got to see was him just brawl it out with Alex Stowe and get the win. He showed me he could get the win that way. But this time he was a bit more technical. Now, I think he's going to end up finding the perfect middle, of both, because he could turn it on when he wants to. I felt like, maybe he could have turned it on a couple times in this fight and made this a shorter night, perhaps. You know what I mean? But at the same time, Ty is a very tough guy, and credit to him. I thought he did win that second round. I believe it was that second round. He came back and won. And the third round was a good round, close round, but I thought Edgar pulled it off. So, shout out to him. He continues to grow. I think he's a fantastic prospect. I'd love to see them both back, but I think Edgar's a fantastic prospect who's really moving his way up here, and I was happy. I was real happy to get him this experience. He needed a fight like this, I think, to kind of push him and show him that, he's not always going to be able to get that person out of there. You're not always going to get that guy out of there. Ty's a tough guy. He's not going to go easily. So it was a good fight, good experience fight, and very exciting. Your thoughts, champ? Or you already gave them?
Yeah, we already did that.
Yeah. So next up is his teammate, Anthony Castaneda, also out of Classic Fight Team. We mentioned them, against Mark Reels, who's sort of, representing Systems Training Center. He's also representing Nomad Thai Boxing, his coach Joseph out there. And, this was a special fight for me, man. I really, I think you saw I interviewed both guys. I really like both of these guys. I really think both of these guys, along with kids like Edgar, like we mentioned before, are the future of this sport. I really do. And, I know guys are going to get down on themselves when they lose these fights, but I just want them to keep in mind the fight. There's a winner and a loser, especially the amateurs. Like nobody.
Yeah.
So I know you guys give a shit because you're hyper competitive, but it's the amateurs. Go out there and fight. You know what I mean? Fight whoever it is, gain the experience so you can get better, and come back a better fighter. So anyway, this fight I was super high for. I thought this was going to be one of the better fights of the night. It didn't disappoint for me. This was a kill or be killed fight. This was a live by the sword, die by the sword fight. Both of these kids are very dangerous. Both of these guys are very dangerous, Gary, and they were very technical. And I want to say, it was a very good back and forth. I wasn't really paying attention to the scoring because I was so enthralled by the technique and by how they were trying to take each other out. And I was very impressed by the technique. They're both fantastic. I want to say that Castaneda definitely grew. He showed even better boxing, and he started using his kicks a little bit, which he didn't show us in the last fight, even though it didn't go very long, didn't show us. As far as Mark Reels, I mean, this kid is completely transformed. I mean, this kid has completely. This kid, I believe, he came to us 0-2, and
Oh yeah,
yeah, because he was fighting some Muay Thai promotion, where they hugging him and holding him the whole time. That's not his. That's not really maybe his bread and butter yet. You know what I mean? But I feel like he got matched pretty good here in his last fight. He got that win against a very tough Taylor Fox, who's gone on to win somewhere else and is looking great himself. Got a win over Taylor Fox. I believe that built his confidence up. I believe the kid's hungry. He's got in his blood. His father was a boxer. We talked about this before. And I believe he's just leveled up. He's just on another level now. And both of him and Castaneda leveled up. And Mark just happened. It's once again the case of the clip clause, man. But it was done in such an intelligent way.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so surgical, Gary. I mean, these are guys still wearing headgear, Gary.
Yeah.
He got into the clinch. I believe it was in the first round, landed a beautiful, dropped Castaneda.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, I found my spot.
Uh-huh.
Castaneda got back up. Second round came out. I want to say Castaneda was winning that round, man. I mean, it was back and forth, but Castaneda was winning that round, Gary.
Yeah.
And he just goes, he's on the back hip waiting for him. I think you saw it maybe on the Instagram too, and on the YouTube, but on the Instagram as well. We put up a clip waiting for him. Waited for the perfect time for him to open up and threw a knee right down the middle. And I mean, you just can't survive a shot like that.
Yeah.
And credit to Castaneda, he tried pulling himself back up, man. What a fucking warrior. I like these kids so much. I love these kids so much because you know what, Gary? I see the passion in both of them, man. That's how I know both of these guys are going somewhere. That's how I know a guy like Edgar is going to go somewhere. That's how I know a lot of these kids are going to go somewhere. Ty too, if he wants it. I mean, these guys were so passionate, man. It was hard. It was hard for me to see somebody lose this fight.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is just the amateurs. You guys just both leveled up again. You guys just saw something special in there across from yourself. Not every amateur is going to be a Mark Reels. Not every amateur is going to be an Anthony Castaneda at this level where they're still wearing headgear. You guys are both going to be really good after this fight. Shout out to Mark Reels. Shout out to Anthony Castaneda. Mark Reels, big win. Beautiful win. That was delicious. That was a delicious fight. And finished, Gary. I don't know what else. I don't know what else do you say? Sensational. I mean, that was a sensational fucking that finish.
I just want you throw delicious in there. You got to say no Diddy after it or something, man.
No Diddy. Gary, you got to admit though that knee right at that moment was. Beautiful. That was. But he landed too. That was a work of art.
He did it. He did it twice. Both times were surgical and I like you said, I thought both fighters were very technical, very sound. I did think Castaneda came out strong in the first round. I was giving it to him in the first round until he got dropped with. It was the first round he got dropped with a knee, right? The first knee, right?
I believe it was the first round. He got back up. I thought
he got back up.
I thought he was maybe a step ahead there, but I'm not sure. It was very back and forth. Second round, I thought he put the pressure up a little bit more. I felt like he was winning. And then Mark just was looking for that opening. He was looking
my thing is I thought he was winning the first round till he got dropped. He got dropped with the knee. So then that makes it
he loses
a 10-8.
Right.
And you only got 3. So now the best you could do is ask for a draw unless you knock him out. Right. So I think in the second round, he came out more aggressive, trying to put the pressure and trying to because you can't lose any more rounds. The fight's over. Right. You lose any rounds.
Right.
And you can, and if you want to win, you have to knock him out. So I think he started trying to put the pressure, and I thought that just walked right into the knee again. And like you said, it was perfectly timed. And I think Mark Reels, by the way, I got to highlight. It should be Mark Highlight Reels. There we go.
Yeah.
But he did perfect, and man, no body shots more than anything. Tough as you want to be, body shots make a bitch out of anybody. So
and I mean, he just ripped it right down the middle and like across the body, and I was like, oh my god, like
you didn't see him crumble, and it's like I don't think he's getting up from that one.
Yeah, but kind of like a late reaction, like it shut down the liver or something. He was like, oh, and then he was trying to get up, man. Credit to him, man. He was trying to get up, man. And Castaneda, you could tell he's a warrior, but man, Mark Reels, keep coming back, Mark. I mean, they told you don't fight for Fighters Rep, Mark, but you didn't listen. I'm glad you didn't, Mark. Here we go. Kiflom says, thank you, George, for also putting the ladies, Connie and her opponent, Youngblood, the main event. I hope to see more ladies come back and fight for sure. We definitely need to get the ladies a lot of attention because lady fights go hard, man. Those female fights go hard. Isaac McCary says, damn, I'm getting here too late. It's okay, Isaac. We fixed the plate for you, baby. C-Pot says, great night of fights. Coach Pot says, great night of fights. Fight of the night goes to King Cobra versus LA Muay Thai. KO of the night goes to Majali Gay. It was great to sit and watch the fights as a fan, nonstop action. And then Isaac. Here we go with Isaac McCary again, calling people out. This guy doesn't stop. Give me Nathan Hawthorne for September. That's the fight to make. What a performance for Mook and new champ. Who would you like to see Mook defended against? Do we see Caleb Salazar versus Jason Granado? And then Hurricane Santana says, great card. But we're going to get to all these questions in a bit. Let's get through some more of these.
Well, we got a whole list of questions for you, George.
I know we got a lot to get through. Okay, number 5. You know, somebody says Majali Gay knockout of the night, said Coach Pot. And that was fight number 5, Majali Gay versus Jonathan Montoya at 160 pounds. This was a fight that I was just buzzing about. Both of these guys are fantastic fighters, Gary. I still think both of these guys are that guy. That's how high I am on these guys. I'm really happy we got Montoya back. It's been a very long time coming, and it's unfortunate because I do think had I been able to get him back consistently for the past couple years, he'd probably be further along, if I'm being honest. I think he'd be on a completely different level, but he's still an absolute beast. And I still think, again, both of these guys are super talented. Now, what happened here, Gary, these two are a pair of freight trains, and they're fast, and they're explosive, and they got big power, and they're durable. But despite their durability, they hurt each other in this fight, right? And it all started basically when Jonathan Montoya landed a big right hand on the side of the head of Majali Gay and dropped him. You know, I thought that was a legitimate either standing 8 count if the referee didn't think, you know, that he fell to the ground because there was a little bit of collision after the punch. Or if he touched the floor and the referee called it a knockdown, I was okay with that. He was hurt, and I could tell because when he stood back upright, his foot was, he was a little wobbly. And I said to myself, holy shit, this could end right here. Like this could end right here, right? And I'm big on both of these guys, man. So I was very nervous about this fight, you know. So, you know, I'm sure Jonathan's feeling very confident at this point and gets really aggressive and, you know, kind of does this jumping, you know, tries to get into this sort of jumping, skipping uppercut that he throws or something like that Majali seemed prepared for, right? If you looked at his coach's page and his page, it looked like they were drilling to counter that exact move. They had seen that in Jonathan's arsenal. And I guess Majali still had the wherewithal, right, to look for that despite being hurt. Compliments to him, right? Credit to him. Maybe he recovered so fast because he's in such great shape as well. And just, I want to say it was an overhand right, timed it perfectly, and just saw Jonathan was hurt and just, I mean, got him out of there in brutal, brutal fashion. And credit to Jonathan, man. I mean, gets back up to his feet after that, wants to keep fighting. But my goodness, Majali Gay, I mean, that was what a performance. And shout out to both guys, man. Both guys are just, listen, I don't have to kiss anyone's ass. I really, you know, I don't give a fuck, Gary. These people don't know. Me better than everybody. These two guys need to stay in the gym and keep going, man. Whether you fight for me, you should fight for me, but whether you fight for me or somebody else, keep it going, man. You two are so talented. Jonathan, don't hang your head about it, man. You could have had, it could have been Majali. It could have been him. And Majali, congratulations to you. Don't let it get to your head. Keep going, guys. You guys are fantastic. What a fantastic fight, Gary. What are your thoughts?
I thought Majali was winning the round. I thought he was winning around. I thought he was doing a pretty good job finding the shots, moving around, kicking, and when he got caught by that shot on the side of the head that Jonathan threw, when he got caught on the side of the head, I didn't really see it as I didn't think it hurt him. I thought he slipped, and because he put both his gloves down, and I thought he slipped. But like you said, when he stood up and he kind of did the stanky leg a little bit. Oh, he did the Devin Haney after Linares hit him. You know what I'm saying? I was, that hurt him. I thought it was just a slip. That hurt him. That caught him. And once you see the replays, you see it kind of hit him on the top, on the side of his head. Maybe they shook his equilibrium a little bit.
Yeah.
But I thought he recovered. Watching him, his body language, I thought he recovered pretty quickly. And it took him a little bit, but he recovered pretty quickly within the round. And I think that's where Jonathan maybe probably thought he was more hurt than what he was, trying to go on for the finish. And Majali still had the wherewithal, and he caught him with his right this time, straight there. Caught him in between shots, caught him with a straight right, and it rocked him. And it's almost like that even woke Majali up even more. He was, got him.
Yeah.
And then he just went, boo, 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 until he got him down. And you see when Jonathan stood up, it was like, whoa, I want to keep fighting, ref. Who you want to fight? I don't know. He's somewhere around. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you say, Majali has power. Both of them have power. And when you get clipped with someone with power, I mean, especially when you're throwing.
Those are big boys. I don't know how they're 160 pounds. Those guys are big guys, strong guys. And listen, I mean it, man. I hope we get these guys back. Montoya got a finish the last time he fought for us. Majali's had two finishes in a row for us. Maybe it's been more.
Yeah, no, I think he did.
But definitely 2 in a row now. I think Majali's in line, I think Majali's in line to fight either Milshawn or somebody.
I like to see that.
Yeah. He's got to fight for a title, I think, after these performances like this. He's undefeated in MMA as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So just beautiful performance. And, I didn't think Jonathan did bad either. It's just you get clipped in this sport.
It wasn't much of it. The fight didn't go long enough to really get to see, know.
But I mean, he looked good while he was out there. He looked strong.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So I want to see both them, come back. And, definitely I think Majali has punched his ticket to a title fight. And I don't think Jonathan's that far either. I want to see him come out and continue to grow. And hopefully that happens.
Hey, you see Majali's face after he lands the punch. He turns around like.
He's so calm, that kid. He's so calm, man.
He drops him. He walks me to the corner like he knows it's over. He ain't getting up.
Yeah. He's a character, man. He's a character. Hurricane Santana, he was on the card. He says, great card. Thank you, Hurricane. Appreciate you. We can't wait to see what you do with the next Florida card. By the way, guys, July 3rd, tickets go on sale for FightersRep 25 and 26. 25 will be in California on September 7th. Mark your goofy-ass calendars. And September 21st for the Florida event at the Arion Event Center. Mark your calendars, goofballs. I mean, knuckleheads. Next up, Bangkok Muay Thai says FightersRep, best striking show in California, period. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Bangkok. And that's Majali's team, Coach John Gaglio. They've done an incredible job.
Great job.
He's doing an incredible job. Next up was a fight at 137 pounds. These guys are also very near contendership in my eye. Ruben Avila taking on Sergio Rodriguez. It was Ruben Avila out of Team Quest, I believe, with Coach Tariq Safeddin, who was typically in his corner. I don't believe he was there on the night, but he's typically in his corner. He was taking on Sergio Rodriguez from Beehive Fight Team. A guy that I really respect a lot, because this is the guy we were talking to, Gary, who just came back from an orbital injury, and we didn't even know if he was going to fight again, but he's undefeated. So I was hoping he would, because he's a very talented guy as well. They're both very, very talented fighters. This was a good fight. This was, I thought, a close fight. This was a technical fight. I was very impressed, but I do think Sergio, the Cuban Missile Crisis, was landing the more effective shots in this fight. And so that's why I thought the decision was correct in this fight. I don't know if you agree with that, Gary, but it was a close fight. But I just felt like Sergio was landing the heavier shots in this fight. That being said, both of these guys are young, and Ruben Avila is really young. And now Ruben Avila has fought Isaac De La Paz in a fight that was extremely close.
Mm-hmm.
And he just fought Sergio Rodriguez in a fight that was also very close. I think Ruben Avila is just going to get even better and better with these amateur fights. And same for Sergio Rodriguez. But I say this about Ruben Avila because, I think it's important to point out, he's dropped 2 in a row at FightersRep, but they've been against pretty much the best in the division, right? Because Sergio was supposed to fight Jason Granado.
Yeah.
And this was a close fight. And before this, he lost a very close decision to De La Paz, who gave Granado probably the toughest fight of his career. So, both of these kids, they're young. They're at a very high level. But I thought Sergio Rodriguez was landing the more effective shots here. I look forward to having both of them back. But, I think the judges got it right on this one. What are your thoughts on this one, Gary?
Got to disagree with you, George. I thought Ruben won.
Wow. Okay.
I thought Ruben won the fight. I mean,
yeah.
I thought, at first in the first round, Sergio was able to get inside of that long reach of Ruben and land some clean shots at the very beginning of the round.
Yeah.
I felt like Ruben adjusted pretty quickly in that first round, and because Sergio was finding his way in there pretty easily in the first round, hitting the shots, bouncing, coming back out. He was jumping in and out, almost like a Pacquiao style a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he was slipping when Ruben threw the jab, he would slip it, get inside, pop, pop, hit, and come back out, move around, hit, come back out, slip the jab. But I felt like toward the end of the first round, Ruben adjusted, and I felt like his adjustments were he started throwing combinations, 1-2s. You want to slip, you get caught with this. He started throwing head kicks, where I felt like the head kicks were being very effective. They were keeping him from slipping, the jab or the punches to get inside. So I felt like Sergio after the first round was struggling it was a lot harder for him to get inside. He still would at times, but I felt it became a little bit more difficult. And I thought that Ruben had the distance. I thought he won the second and the third rounds.
Okay.
Just my opinion. I thought he kept the distance good. He kept him from getting inside too much. He kept with the head kicks and the combination punches. I just felt like he did enough, and I felt like after the first round he kind of figured it out. Yeah. So I had him winning, but hey. That's why split decision. That's why you got the judges and stuff.
It's up to that's why you don't leave it to the judges, man. It's up to the judges.
It was a close fight though.
Yeah, it was a close fight.
It's not like a robbery or anything like that.
No, it wasn't. Like I would have been, if they would have said Avila won, I would have been like, okay, I guess. But I just thought, ever so slightly, I thought Sergio's punches were just heavier. So I just, I thought maybe Sergio won 2-1, and it sounds like you thought Avila won 2-1. So it's like very close,
Yeah.
Don't leave it to the judges. But that being said, you can't get upset about it if you leave it to the judges. Everybody kind of has their own subjective scoring criteria, and I'll leave it at that. I hope both guys come back. It looks like Sergio has already accepted a fight, if I'm being honest with you, which is incredible. He already wants to come back, and we already want him back. And, hopefully we get Ruben Avila back too. He's an insanely talented kid.
I thought he would look good. I thought he looked real good.
He always looks good. And, he keeps leveling up. He keeps getting this experience. And he's just, eventually he's going to be ahead of the curve as he continues to do this. So that's the whole point of this thing. You know, that's the whole point of the amateurs, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, great fight. If I haven't told you guys already, you know, join the channel, subscribe to the channel. We'll greatly appreciate it. Also, if you drop a super chat in here, hey, you can help us out by joining the channel or dropping a super chat. If you drop a super chat for a fighter that you like, we'll split the profit of the super chat with the fighter, and your comment will get highlighted. Okay, who did we have next here, Gary? I'm a little lost. Okay, next was the first title fight of the evening. Or actually, no, next was the fight of the night. Next was the fight of the night. Next was one of the best fights I've seen in person, if I'm being honest with you, Gary. This was absolutely insane to watch at 137 pounds. It was Caleb Salazar of Los Angeles Muay Thai taking on Isaac De La Paz out of King Cobra Muay Thai MMA. Listen, Gary, these guys are not afraid of anything. There's nothing that these guys don't understand fear. These guys went 100% for 3 rounds. Like, these guys went 100% for 3 rounds.
They didn't look tired after either.
And the crowd was screaming, Gary. It was screaming, Caleb, Caleb, Caleb. And then it was Isaac, Isaac. I mean, this was another insane fight. I was so lost in this fight, Gary. I kind of had no idea who won. After rewatching it, you know, I kind of did feel like Caleb edged it, but I've had people disagree with me all over the place. I'm not even sure, you know, it was so tight, but I kind of felt like Caleb edged it maybe 2 rounds to 1. But I mean, it was such a fantastic fight. Isaac landed so many heavy shots himself.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb just it felt to me Caleb came on maybe a touch stronger in the last round. But man, this was another tight one, Gary. What were your thoughts about this one?
I thought the refs got it right. I agree with you. I think Caleb slightly won the fight.
Yeah.
I thought clearly that Isaac won the first round. Activity, pressure, he hit landing. Yeah. I thought he won the first round. He came out looking sharp. You know, he was more active, so he was landing punches. So I thought clearly he won the first one. And then I thought Caleb won the third one. I thought, like you did, I had to rewatch it, but I thought Caleb won the third round with the he started walking towards De La Paz and walking him down and really putting pressure and really putting some real pressure on him. And I think that's what kind of won him the third pretty clear in my not dominating. It was still a close round. Close round, but I think that, you know, it came down to the second round, really, in my opinion. And the second round, I thought Isaac started off winning that round, and then he hurt. I think he hurt Isaac a couple times with some shots, and then Isaac
hurt Isaac.
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. I thought Isaac hurt Caleb with some big shots, and it looked like it was gonna go all, you know, Isaac. And then he started, and you seen Caleb start chopping his legs. He started chopping his leg, kept throwing those back to back. I'm like, oh, boom, boom, slowing Isaac down. Like, hold on, we got to get control of this thing. Let me start kicking his leg, because Isaac was starting to come forward, getting that confidence. He started chopping that leg, and then he started, you know, landing some big shots himself. And I think he kind of, it's hard for me to say who won that round, but I can see you giving it to Caleb that round or Isaac that round, because it was like a 50-50 round to me. That was the closest round to me.
Tough fight to score.
Yeah. And so I don't have a problem with Caleb winning, because I think he could have edged out that second round.
Well, the other thing is, it was so damn entertaining. Like, I couldn't even concentrate. I was so entertained. I couldn't even concentrate. I didn't even know. You could have told me, like, I was screaming. Me and Hung were like, Hung was next to me yelling and jumping out of his chair. And, you know, you could have told me the place was burning down. And I would have said, yeah, hold on. I'm watching it. Shit was crazy.
It was very entertaining.
By the way, the champ is in here, Jason Granado.
The champ is here. The champ is here.
Well, it's his division. It's his division.
Yeah, I know.
Said, I had De La Paz winning that one. Crazy fight still. So yeah, what a fight, man.
I don't know how Caleb's gonna take that. Maybe he wants you to show him.
Yeah. Well, afterwards he said, "Hey, I want that kid Jason, whatever the fuck his name is." I think he said something like that. Dude, these guys got so much personality, man. I don't want anyone to ever ask me why I promote kickboxing. These guys have such huge personalities, Gary. Caleb going out there representing Inglewood, showing love to his city, to his deceased brother,
I seen that. Yeah.
Walking around with the frame, much love to him. Rest in peace to his brother. With Coach David Huerta and Cruz Zarate in the corner, and then De La Paz, out of King Cobra, always brings it, always in tip-top shape, always ready for war. Man, I mean, these guys are just too entertaining not to watch and not to support. Yeah. So I'm hoping we can get Granado and Salazar going soon, but somebody must have convinced Granado that MMA is entertaining or worth doing, because I guess because we all know MMA is boring as shit, but somebody's convinced Granado to go do MMA, I guess, because there's some more money in there or whatever, at least until Knucklehead Nation grows to that level. But yeah, it looks like he's gonna go do MMA, so I don't know how soon we're gonna get him. Either way, I would love to make that fight, man. Either way, I would love to make that fight soon. On to the next, Gary. We had our first title fight of the evening. It was the 9th fight of the evening, and it was Evan Ortiz out of Squirrel Muay Thai, which is Jason Granado's team. And shout out to Cody, the Squirrel Sessions, the head coach over there, versus Aaron Fawcett out of Andrade Muay Thai. Aaron Hot Water Fawcett, your favorite nickname, Gary, driving out from Las Vegas with some support. By the way, shout out to Ty Petralia too, man, who sold all his tickets, even though he's from Las Vegas. Hint, hint, learn. This guy was coming from Vegas and sold all his tickets. Learn, people. Anyway, so Aaron Hot Water Fawcett comes out from Vegas, becomes our first champion based out of Las Vegas in a great fight versus Evan Ortiz that had to be stopped because Evan, basically his shin busted open and it had to get stitched.
That's what happened? Oh, wow.
And it had to get stitched right there on the spot. But
my God.
But that doesn't take away anything from Aaron. I thought it was a good fight in the opening round, but man, Hot Waters, dude, it's like having hot water poured on you, steaming hot water. I mean, the guy just keeps coming and coming, and there's no getting away from it. I mean, did you see his pace, Gary?
Yeah.
His pace was crazy. I mean, he looked like he could go like that for 5 rounds easy. And I just think, not the biggest puncher yet, not the most power yet, but enough to hurt. And with that kind of pressure, man, you gotta earn his respect quick, because he's just gonna be all over your shit if you don't get him off of you. That guy was white on rice, Gary. That guy was flying on shit all over Evan Ortiz. Man, I was like, damn, dude, this kid, and Evan, to his credit, landed some good shots, showed some very tricky, awkward technique, but just couldn't get around that pace, man. That pace was incredible. I also think Hot Water landed some good shots that may have affected Aaron's eye. I saw him blinking over and over again, I just thought he just kind of broke him down with landing those good shots and the pace. The pace was wild.
I see. When I'm gonna go
back, just give it to me.
I'm gonna go and let you inside of who Gary Ignite Behavior is and how he operates. One thing Gary hates is cold water. I hate being cold. I hate cold everything. When I go take a shower, I turn the water on before I get on there, let it get real nice and hot, because I like hot water.
Yeah.
And that's what, and I'm being a little corny here, but anyway, that's what Aaron did.
Yeah.
He started, he turned the water on, you gotta let it get hot a little bit, man. You gotta let it get hot a little bit. It comes out a little cold.
Yeah.
And I thought Evan looked, like you said, it looked like Evan was doing his thing, and then it started getting hotter in there, man. The steam started to build in the room, baby.
You know what it was like? It's like they say like the frog, if it sits in like boiling water, like it slowly like gets hotter, but it doesn't go anywhere. And it ends up dying in the boiling water.
Yeah. Like so it's just, it took him a while to get cooking, but you start seeing the bubbles in the water, and you're like, yeah, I can put the noodles in now. And he got the cooking, and man, he just the relentless pressure. And like you said, he didn't have respect, because I don't think Evan was really, besides the beginning of the first round, really wasn't connecting with anything to get his respect. And he just started coming forward. And I think Evan was kind of like, whoa, this guy's coming. And he's a physically strong guy, Aaron. He's not like this scrawny dude. He's a physically imposing guy. And he's coming down on you with that pressure, and he's landing shots. And I just felt like Evan
moving, man, and he's moving. It's not like he's like moving. He's like coming. He's darting in and out. He's got footwork, and he's coming. And it's like,
and I just don't think Evan figured it out. Now, I'm sorry to hear that his leg got busted up, because I seen it got stopped, and I was like, I didn't see him. Did I miss something?
I'll say this too, and it's funny how things come first circle. So Aaron fought Hamza Trad, our welterweight champion in the past, up one division, and he lost in that fight. But he also lost because of an injury in that fight, right? Kind of the same way Evan lost this fight to Aaron. What I will say, though, is nobody ever gave Hamza a fight like that, Gary. Like, Hamza was winning in those first couple rounds, but you saw hot water starting to leak in, if you will. I know you like that pun. It was starting to leak in, big dog.
We're going to keep playing with his name.
And the noodles were starting to become al dente. And we were about to make some fettuccine, but then the leg gave out, big dog. That's kind of what happened. So yeah, shout out to Aaron. I think we'll see Evan again. This is obviously not, it's his first time in the Fighters Rep Lions Den, and he got a title shot in his first try, which is, very hard to do. And he got it because he earned it, fighting well and having a good record and doing well. But he'd never been in the Lions Den. This is Aaron Fawcett's third fight in there. He understands the environment. Even though he's from Vegas, he kind of had home court advantage in that aspect. He understands that ring and that environment. May have had some help, may have had something to do with it a little bit, but I just think Aaron's pressure, man. I can't, I'm trying to think of somebody else who has that sort of pressure. Who else has that sort of pressure? Maybe it's De La Paz and Salazar. Who else? And I know Granado can keep that pace up. But how many?
It's a different way, though. I feel like it's a different way those guys keep the pressure on you versus the way Aaron does it. I feel like Aaron
they're kind of in your face, where he's kind of moving around.
Yeah, and then he's kind of also like I said, I know I mentioned physique again. He kind of like pushing, frame you up, pushing back, boom, and it's kind of he just looks so almost Errol Spence like. In the strength, like a strong, Errol Spence is a strong welterweight. Aaron looks just so strong and sturdy, and I feel like De La Paz and
Salazar?
I was gonna say De La Paz, and I think
Granado,
what you call it, Gator. I feel like they walk you down so calm and just kick you, boom, push you back, boom, and they just walk you down, and they just slowly, but it's just a little slightly different, but it's the same thing. It's a different way,
Yeah. And Pod is in here. He says IKF did a great job like always. McCary says shout out to Vegas homie Aaron. Obviously McCary's team. also from Vegas. He says, Aaron is a big 142-pound fighter. He sure is, man. Gary, 142. And, Evan's really big, too. I want to say Evan might have been a touch taller.
Yeah, he was taller, yeah.
Also a good physique. But, my goodness, the relentless pressure, man, I was just very impressed. Congrats to Aaron becoming, our first champion at Fighters Rep based out in Las Vegas. I'm sure Isaac McCary wants to become the next one. All right, on to the next title fight, Gary. It was the super welterweight title. Xavier Santana coming out of basically South Florida. We flew him out to take on Michael Mook Mitchell, a guy who, represents for Engaged Combat and basically started his fighting career, for the most part, in street beefs, and then made his way onto the local scene in Southern California, eventually made his way to Fighters Rep, where, he eventually also beat Khalil Silva, Anderson Silva's son, at Fighters Rep, and has continued to do great things. And I always knew that Mook Mitchell was a good fighter, a solid fighter. But what I didn't know about Mook that I'm finding out is that besides being a really good technical fighter, he's got really devastating power. Mook Mitchell has really devastating power, and he can finish you with punches, and he can finish you with kicks, like he showed on Saturday night against Xavier Santana, who, is an experienced fighter from South Florida, is a good fighter from South Florida, and they literally had to sign a waiver, Gary. The IKF does this. When one guy has a lot of experience and there's an experience disparity, they'll make you sign a waiver. And so I signed the waiver. The fighter signed the waiver. But I knew this fight was going to be, a good fight. I didn't think Xavier had any sort of advantage over Mook. I thought it would be a good 50-50 fight. And I thought it was a good fight until Mook landed that first leg kick and he saw some weakness there. And he said, you know what? That leg is mine. I'm going home with chicken. I'm going home with drumsticks tonight. And he just basically took Xavier's leg off. Shout out to Xavier. Showed the heart of a warrior. Get him back up, make it into the second round. But, as soon as that big leg kick started landing, it was over. Congratulations to Mook, who's taken a very long, hard, and arduous road to make it to become Fighters Rep champion. Congratulations, man.
I'm kind of, Santana's a Florida boy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I have to kind of go for my Florida boys. We took an L today, okay? All right, but you ice it up. You didn't do a bad job, like George said. I thought it was pretty good until, those leg kicks. When you get somebody who's good, has powerful leg kicks, and you could tell that it from the first one, and it was like, oh, he didn't like that. And I think Mook was like, oh, you don't like that. And it was a good, cerebral. It was almost like the body shots we were talking about earlier, where he found the weakness, he went for the body shot. He found the weakness in the leg, and when the guy hits you in the leg and you can't really stand, it's not like it's something that he tried to get up and you could just tell, like, no, that leg's he can't do anything on that leg. It was what was that other fight that had where the guy just kicking him in the leg? It was reminiscent of that.
It was Wilson versus Rodriguez near the end of the card. That happened as well.
Yeah. So that I think a lot of fighters sometimes that as watching these fights, sometimes they forget about that. Those legs kicked. I thought, like I said earlier, I thought it got Caleb back in round 2, starting to attack the legs. But I think sometimes you get so caught up in the moment and forget about, hey, I can chop this guy's leg down to slow him down and things, or and that. So, but he used it to us. It was a good fight.
Well, it was definitely a serious weapon in this fight, and it made Mook champion. And I'm proud of both guys. Obviously, we love Xavier. He's our matchmaker out here in Miami. I think he's a fantastic fighter and a fantastic matchmaker. But man, I really also have a soft spot for Mook. I think he's so fantastic. He's so focused. He's such a martial artist. He's so respectful. He's so professional. He sells all his tickets, Gary. Hint, hint, double hint, triple hint.
I was gonna say, there it goes again.
Quadruple hint. He gives a shit. The guy gives a shit. If you don't give a shit about anything, you're not going anywhere. And this guy he's focused. He has it all. He just makes his gym proud. He makes me proud to promote him. So, good for him. I'm happy to have a champion like that. And shout out to Xavier for taking that fight, flying out to California. I know it's not easy on 1 day notice to fly out there. I think he wasn't feeling that hot, but still took the fight. Great fight, man. Great fight for Mook. By the way, Jason Granado's in here and says, did you already talk about Claycomb? And apparently I'm an asshole and completely forgot about that fight. So that's the fight we're going to be talking about next, because that was another.
I was like, maybe George doing that later, because I have it on my paper here. I was like, I guess he's doing it later.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about that one next. Michael Claycomb at let's see here. I don't want to say it was. I'm not sure what the weight is now. For whatever reason, it deleted. But Michael Claycomb versus Reggie Abrasaldo. Michael had a couple fights skid at FightersRep. And this is very much. Very much a confidence-related sport. And I'm really glad that he's been fighting at other promotions as well, because he's been knocking people out at these other promotions, But, he just came up short the last couple times at FightersRep. He lost in the first round to Milshawn, and then he fought Braden and lost a close decision. And I didn't think, he put on his best performance in that Braden fight. It didn't look like him to me. So, I'm glad he continued to go and work on himself and get some more experience and come back out here, because he got a knockout in his last fight before us at a Muay Thai promotion. And he looked really good in this fight. He looked really good. I felt like, Reggie is a very tough, durable guy to deal with. He doesn't really get hurt. It looks like he just comes forward. If he gets hurt, he's got an incredible poker face. You can't tell that he's hurt. But Michael, man, was just ripping to the body. He was just moving beautifully. He was countering things. He was landing the uppercut, splitting the guard over and over again. Landed an incredible question mark kick, and it's only a matter of time, before, those start to take their toll on somebody. I thought the first round was kind of close, but I thought Michael edged it. Just because he was landing, again, the more impactful shots. But I thought Reggie was staying in it with the knee. He kept throwing knees, walking forward, throwing knees, putting a lot of pressure on Michael. But then in the second round, I felt maybe like those body shots started to take their toll a little bit. Reggie wasn't moving forward as much as he was in the first round. And Michael was just starting to tee off. Now, a lot of people had a problem with the referee stoppage. Of course, the referees, will take you to the corner, and they'll do a little exam on the eyes. And if the eyes move a certain way, I guess they feel like it's a concussion. So for me, people might not be happy to hear it. I'm okay with that stoppage, because I don't want anybody to have a concussion. Could Reggie have continued? I don't know, man. I'm not a doctor. To me, he looks like a tough guy that would have probably continued happily, right? But at the end of the day, this is an amateur fight. I'm not trying to see anyone get permanently hurt. And Michael was really teeing. I mean, Reggie's nose was bleeding profusely at the end of that second round. And maybe he just, maybe his nose bleeds. Maybe he's a bleeder. You know what I mean? But it looked like he was taking some punishment. And my understanding is that Michael hits pretty damn hard. I've heard before that Michael hits pretty damn hard when he connects. So, I just I thought he edged the first round. I thought the second round he started to take over. And there could have been a third round, but, I'm not really sure if it was necessary at that point for him to continue, if the doctor thought, he was hurt enough to stop the fight, I guess. So that's my feelings on that fight, man. You know, it's tough for me. You know, I'm not trying to see people get seriously hurt, but it is the hurt business. You know, so that's where I'm at with it.
Well, you know, you ever seen Old School? We say, Blue, you my boy. Sugar Bomb, you my boy. Nah,
Yeah.
nah. I mean, I'm proud of him. You know, you know, we talked with Michael. I kind of one of the fighters that I have spoken with or whatever. And I like Michael. We both felt like his last couple outings. I know he lost to Milshon twice, and his last fight he kind of
No, he
he
lost him
lost
once.
split.
He lost to Milshon one time.
I thought he didn't he fight Milshon twice and only once.
No,
Then they
no,
have a
only
rematch. Okay,
No.
all right. Well, when he dropped him with the, you sure?
I'm positive, Gary.
All right.
I run this promotion.
Maybe I'm thinking about somebody else. But still, we felt like he needed to work on his hands or whatever a little bit better because we knew he had the feet with the karate, with the karate style jumping in and out with the feet and things. And from what I saw, it looks like his hands are gotten a lot better. He was giving angles, turning them. You know, I thought he won the first, thought he won the second. I mean, I thought he was turning them, picking them apart with the shots as he came forward. I thought Reggie probably needed to find a different way to come, just putting up the high guard and walking forward and trying to, you know, pressure him and then trying to get inside and land knees, which even in the first round, I know he got inside and he was throwing some knees. I don't think those were as effective. I think Clay Cohn was, you know, kind of they weren't landing a whole clean.
It was smothering him a bit.
Yeah, so I don't really think that was affecting Clay Cohn that much. I felt he pretty much put on a. I mean, I do think stylistically this was a good fight for him. Also because Reggie was more with the kicks. He didn't throw. He threw some punches, but not a whole lot. And I felt like it let Clay Cohn get comfortable and let him move in, and I was really impressed by the movement, the footwork, the boxing. I was really impressed by Clayton. He and that's a dude that is actually using the amateur for what it is to get better. Like he loses and he goes back and he works and he comes back again and he comes back again and he fights and he works and he's a hard worker. And that's what amateur fights for. You're gonna win some, lose some before you go to the pros and have to actually when it actually matters the most.
Yeah. I think he's a really talented kid. I think he's definitely had a hard route. I mean, he's been in there with nothing but tough fights. Reggie was a tough fight. I knew Reggie would be a tough fight. I saw him in Miami. He's durable. He just comes forward, and he's got a very heavy high kick. And that's why I thought this would be a good fight. He also had the height advantage over Mikey, who's not small. I mean, Mikey's about 6 feet tall. He's a big boy too. But Reggie's like 6'2", 6'3", man.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be a good fight. In the first round, it was. And, you know, second round, he didn't do too bad, but I felt like Clay Cohn was definitely taking over. And like you said, I felt like he leveled up and his boxing looked real nice, man. He was landing a lot of those uppercuts through the splitting the guard with that uppercut and throwing combos and moving out the way, using that karate footwork and leaping back in and landing shots. So credit to him. He looked great.
And to the stoppage of the fight, I was surprised by the stoppage because I do feel like we got Isaac in here, and I do feel like Isaac said, like I do think he was handling the shots pretty well. I didn't see anything that showed me like he kept coming forward. Now he got a hell of a chin because he was getting getting hit with some shots. So I was surprised by the stoppage. I mean, like you say, obviously the doctor's seen something that we don't see in the corner. But and he was taking a lot of shots, even though you can take shots and walk through them, don't mean it's good for you.
Yeah. I hear you. And so, you know, that's the thing. Like, that's what I ask this community to respect from me, right? Because I know you guys are emotional about your guys, and you want your guys to win, right?
Yeah.
I want everybody to win. You know, that works with me. But I know that's not possible, right?
Yeah.
I also understand that I need to remain neutral, right? I can't have favorites as a promoter, right? So I told that line. But what I want you guys to understand for me is what's paramount for me, right? Because I'm a human And I also, second to not wanting to see anyone get hurt, right? Seriously, at least. I also don't want the liability. Nobody want. At least, I mean, I think if you have half a brain, you don't want the liability. If you have half a heart, you don't want to see anyone get seriously hurt. And so I'm kind of caught in a place where I want guys to have the chance to come back in that third round. I want guys to have a chance. Majali came back in that first round. Had the referee been overly cautious, I don't know, maybe some referee somewhere would have stopped that fight. Probably, most likely not. But you know what I mean? If a referee makes the wrong call or a bad call, he might stop that fight. So I appreciate referees allowing these guys to fight, but if it's a situation where the doctor, and that's his job, is to make sure that people are okay, is saying this should stop, I'm not gonna, I'm not in a position to tell him anything. You know what I mean? And if I protest it, then people, first of all, I'll be like, am I really protesting a doctor like who does this for a living? Second of all, people will say, holy shit, George wants these guys to go out there and get killed. So, we can't do that. We got to treat these young fighters as important commodities, man, in the fight game, right? And you want them to continue to grow. And if you allow them to take too much punishment early on, you might destroy an otherwise fruitful career. So again, this is the amateurs. Just let them live to fight another day is what I'm saying.
It ain't the worst thing to lose in the amateurs.
Right. And don't get upset or don't get emotional if people think a fight should be stopped when a doctor is saying it should be stopped. I know you guys feel like you can keep going. A lot of you guys got more heart than you should, or tougher than you should be, or too tough for your own good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to let the doctor do his job so you can come back and do this shit again. It's not worth dying in there, or getting permanently injured. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to go on to the next fight. I believe we're switching back here. We talked about Mook. We're talking about Mook. Now we're going to the co-main event, which was Nathan Hawthorne versus Tony Kath. Now, unfortunately, very unfortunately, Nathan Hawthorne was not eligible to win the title because he had missed weight by 1 pound, Gary. It was initially 2 pounds. He was given the opportunity to go and lose the weight. He went up into the sauna. He was able to only shed 1 pound off. I think it is a fucking shame. I wish I would have been able to see both of these guys fight each other at 127 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, this goes back to your bullshit, Gary. You keep playing with me about this shit.
Oh my God.
About Ryan Garcia's goofy ass being 3.2 pounds overweight. You not thinking it's a big deal along with this goofy ass boxing public. I'm going to leave it at that. No Diddy.
You don't start with me.
No Diddy.
And then say you're going to leave it at that.
But
no,
listen,
don't start with me. We ain't gonna start with that again.
Okay, you listen to me, damn it. This is my show, I think. So he missed it by 1 pound. He just couldn't make it. He just could not get that last pound off. So he said my organs were starting to, hurt. So he still fought. Shout out to Tony. Still accepted the fight against the opponent that was a pound over. Didn't make the weight. Great fight. I thought it was a fantastic fight. I thought it was a close fight, but I thought it was kind of even, but I thought that Nathan closed the show. I thought Nathan closed the show a little bit better. Now, is it because his cardio is just better? Or is it because he's, had that 1 extra pound on him, Gary? Maybe if he didn't have that extra pound on him, things would have been different. You never know. Either way, he won the fight. Congrats to him. But TKO, Tony Kath, gets the belt because, you can't win it at this point. So now we're in a bit of a conundrum. We've got David Death Dealer Marquez, who's the champ. We've got Tony Kath, who's the interim champ. I hope we can get him back, right? If we can't, does Nathan Hawthorne fight David Marquez? And he was talking shit to him in the post-fight. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I saw that.
And if we do make that fight, is he able to make that weight anymore? I mean, it's crazy it's crazy because we've been talking about this fight for multiple shows now. We haven't been able to make it. And have we arrived at a point where Nate cannot make the weight anymore? God, man, it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating for me. So I don't know. We'll see where we go from here, Gary. But fantastic fight by both fighters. I thought they both looked great. I thought Nathan's boxing looked really good. I thought Tony's kicking and hands looked pretty good. And I think Nate's pressure just, won him the fight in that last round.
I agree. I thought Nathan squeezed it out because I mean you have to have urgency when you know it's a close fight. In that last round, you
look
put the
like
pressure on.
You look like you just squeezed it out. Go ahead.
But I thought he squeezed it out, and I don't think it's because of 1 pound. Okay, and let me tell you something. Let me just say this real quick. That wore on him too.
Listen,
Nathan, a guy tells you, "I felt my organs hurting," and you think that's an advantage for him. He still had to go in a sauna. You sit in a sauna before you have to fight. You're still trying to drain yourself before you have to fight. And so you still are dealing with that effect that it has on your body.
Now you wait a
minute. He missed the 1 pound. That ain't why he won. It was a good fight. I'm not gonna take nothing away from you, Nathan, like some other people in here.
I'm not sure you know this.
Oh my God.
But you're talking to the 2024 promoter of the year, Gary. All right? And also, Automated Dorn Glass better be sponsoring this shit. Because I'm tired of coming out of pocket for a bunch of dudes. Well, not a bunch of them, but a couple of guys that don't want to sell any damn tickets. Hint, hint.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
This is my flag football shirt. I said the name underneath it. We play flag in this, okay? It got a number on the back. I don't know.
Nobody wants to see that. I just saw your bloomers.
Oh yeah. But it got a number on the back. I just had it on. I didn't even know it. I didn't even pay attention to what I have on. But yeah, this is our flag football shirt.
All right. Well,
we not only do doors of glass, we go play flag football.
Well, listen. You need to wear tight. You need to wear some briefs. Otherwise, you're going to get varicocele. Your balls are not.
You mean?
Your balls are not young enough to be going around with boxers. Okay.
Anyways, what I was gonna say is, I mean, it was a good fight. I mean, if Nathan can make it, if he can make the weight, only he knows that. I'm saying, if he, I mean, you can only go by his word. He knows his body more than we do. No diddy. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him with the Death Dealer and seeing how they go at it and see what it is. I mean, even Tony, I would like to see him. Both of those are really good fights. It'll be a really exciting fight. I can tell you that right now.
And it was a split decision. I mean, one of the judges thought Tony won the fight. So I mean, it was a great fight. And I agree with you, man. Either one with Death Dealer. I just liked the idea of the rematch between Nathan and Death Dealer because there's so much heat between them now. They're talking shit to each other post-fight, and it's fantastic. But obviously, I want to see Tony too, man. But I don't know. He's saying he's only got a couple left. He was saying at the press conference he's almost 40. It's expensive.
Yeah. What is it, like 39, right? Or something like
that? Yeah. So
hey, you still got some left, dog. You still got some. You got some gas in the tank.
Yeah, I'm running on fumes at this point, brother. So fight number 12 is up next. It was the main event of the evening, and it was Connie Gonzalez defending her female West Coast featherweight title against Sashanique Youngblood, a girl that I've been trying to get into the ring desperately for a couple years now, Gary. It's pathetic, I know, but I finally was able to do it. And it was against Connie Gonzalez, and shout out to the both of them, always willing to fight anyone. Both camps are always willing to fight anyone. Vital Force, which is Connie's camp, and Blackbeard Kickboxing, Sashanique. These girls are down to fight whoever. And I actually thought, I'll be honest with you guys straight up. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. All right. I'm prefacing this. I thought this fight was a lot closer than the judges had it. The judges had it 5-0. I did not think this fight was 5-0. I thought this fight was very close. I kind of thought, me and a couple people ringside thought it was pretty even up until the end. Maybe in the end, I thought Sashanique kind of edged it, but I thought it was a lot closer than 5-0. But big, huge congrats to Sashanique Youngblood on becoming a champion at FightersRep. It's been a long time coming. And big, huge congrats to Connie, too, for, defending the title. And she's a smaller girl significantly. I mean, you saw it in the height. She put up a good fight, but she's a smaller girl significantly. Her coach was telling me she could easily move down to a division. So, I mean, we might have two, really solid females at 122 and 127 pounds in kickboxing. And it's something that's really exciting to me.
I was really impressed with Youngblood. Yeah. Connie gave a good fight. I thought I feel where you're coming from because the rounds were close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when it's like that, I agree with you. I don't think it was a complete shutout.
Yeah.
But the rounds, some of those rounds are so close that it could possibly go, but it wasn't 5-0 wasn't indicative of what that fight was.
No, it wasn't at all.
You know what I mean? I don't
good, like they were fighting a technical fight. And some, and like they always do, some know nothing, do nothing moron on Instagram said that, it looks like a brawl. Like, these morons on Instagram or Facebook. Facebook is even worse. Like, if you thought brains and dreams go to die on TikTok, you need to go to Facebook and see what's going on.
Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
Hey, they watched the show or they watched it. Let them come in and watch it. I don't care. We'll take your money too.
Yeah. I'll take the money. I'll take the engagement and the money. Watch it and say whatever the hell you want. But some moron was saying it was a brawl. I mean, that was
the girls.
That was a 5-round chess match. At times they were letting it go. At times they just let it go, which happens in a fight. But this was 5 rounds, Gary, of intense. Like, hit and not be hit.
And let's be honest, in 5 rounds, at certain points later in the rounds, sometimes it does turn into a little bit of brawl because of endurance. But that happens in all the fights. That happens in all the fights. Because that happens in professional fighting. People start getting tired. Defense starts not to be as tight.
Well, Gary, here's the thing. When you live in your mom's house or grandma's house, and you don't know shit, you haven't done shit with your life, you got to feel validated somehow. So what better way than to go on to a kickboxing social media page and tell people that this fight wasn't technical? You're basically saying, I'll show you what technical is.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the ego on some people is just incredible. But yeah, no, I thought it was a close fight. I really did. And I think 5-0 kind of cheapens it as well. It kind of cheapens it, for both girls, especially for Sashanique. I felt like she really had to, I feel like she's gotten in there and kind of just run through girls.
Yeah.
But Connie made her really work for this, and so I felt like it was a tighter fight than that. I felt like they both adjusted. Sashanique edged it, but I just felt like 5-0 just didn't make sense to me, but great fight.
Yeah.
Congrats to Sashanique. I did think,
to think that she won no rounds. I don't.
Yeah, but I think they got the right person, I guess. But I wouldn't say it was 5-0. Holy shit! Well, I don't know what they were watching. Maybe I was watching. But great fight. And she's in here. She says, it's always a pleasure to fight at FightersRep. Thank you for having me, George. An absolute pleasure, Connie. It was amazing having you. Once a champ, always a champ. I'm always going to call you champ now. And now when you move down 122 pounds, we'll see what you could do there. Fight Commentary Breakdowns is in here, Gary. Says, George always got that crazy hat. Yes, sir. This is something, Gary, believe it or not, that my grandfathers wore. I don't know if people know that. People always think it's just a gimmick. It's a joke. It kind of is a gimmick. On YouTube, you kind of want to stand out. That's kind of why I did it. But it's also an homage, if you will, Gary. It's an homage.
Homage?
It's an homage, which I believe is a French word, to my grandfathers who wore this hat in real life. And, and I can say homage as a French word, I think, because the French also had a mandate over Syria and Lebanon, where my family is from. And so, we do throw a couple of French words in here and there without knowing it. And I'm learning that with time. Anyway, nobody gives a shit about me. Let's move on to the next thing. Claycomb Academy of Martial Arts, Fontana Karate Club. Hey, Joe, you might want to think about shortening that name because my tongue almost went into my nostrils trying to say all that. Claycomb Academy of Martial Arts, Fontana Karate Club. You got to take like a deep breath before you say, "What's up, guys? I'll catch us later working at the dojo." Okay, great. Well, we wish you would have caught it live with us, but it's all right. You'll watch it on the replay. Fight Commentary Breakdown says, jiu-jitsu people are the worst sometimes. They'll never take a striking lesson, and then they'll watch striking and call it a brawl or call it sloppy. Jiu-jitsu people also refer to jiu-jitsu matches as fights. and if that wasn't funny enough, I saw some guy who does power slap referred to his next whatever it is as a fight. So, if those are fights, then Gary, when we twist each other's nipples when we're trying to piss each other off, then that's a fight as well. Not that me and you do that, but if we do that, then that might as well be a fight, right? Or if we were just like to kick each other in the balls as hard as we could, lit each other, kick each other in the balls, that's a fight. So welcome to the new fight game, guys, where anything is a fight as long as there's physical contact. There we go. I talked some smack. Best show in most stack. Great fight of the night. Thank you, Joseph. Next up, we had the post limbs, and it was our first post limit. It was Chavis Wilson versus Luis Rodriguez. You were talking about this earlier, Gary. This was another exciting bout until Chavis landed like a running, blitzing 200-mile-per-hour leg kick on Luis. I mean, Chavis was just darting all over the ring. The kid is like super explosive and fast, and it was a good fight. But man, he landed that leg kick, Gary. You heard the splash of the leg kick connect. It sounded like a splash, and you heard the shit all over the arena. It was just absolutely incredible, man. And I saw Luis go down in tremendous pain, and a lot of respect to him. He hadn't fought in 5 years. He stepped back in. He's always welcome back, but just charge it to the game, man. That was an absolutely vicious leg kick by Chavis, who got finished in one round in his last Fighters Rep fight. We didn't even really get to see him, perform. And he got finished. Actually, it was Connie Gonzalez's boyfriend, Alex Stowe, who beat him. But which is interesting because she's in here. But they had a little back and forth. Stowe clipped him in the first round. This time, Chavis clips his opponent, Luis Rodriguez, in the first round. And that's just the way this fight game goes, Gary.
Hey, like we always say, you can get clipped. We talk about punches, but kicks, man, kicks. Kicks can really end it quick. And he's an explosive guy. And I guess he wanted vengeance for his last time. He's like, I can't go out like that on the last one, on last Fighters Rep. So I guess he wanted vengeance. And, somebody has to pay. You know how they say, somebody has to pay for what I had to go through. Yeah. And that's what it was. I mean, what happens? Just like he got up from the last time and came back in and win, Luis can come back and, that's what it is, man. That's what you sign up for. That's what we sign up for as fans to see, but that's what you sign up for as a fighter.
I want you to go back. I want you to go back and listen to that leg kick land.
Now, this is another thing I was thinking about when you were talking.
It sounded like a sumo wrestler jumped off a diving board and landed in a kiddie pool.
Belly flop?
Yeah, in a kiddie pool.
Oh.
I was like, holy shit. It sounded like a whip with like 15 like fingers at the end of it. I was like, man.
And what I was gonna say is this is the thing I was thinking about too when you were talking about it, is that
don't think too hard. You're gonna have more gray hair.
When I went to the last down here in Florida, watching it up close and seeing the sweat fly, the sounds and everything, I wonder how that really sounds live, being there right there to hear it and how hard he was kicking and that. So,
Yeah. And shout out to Fight Commentary Breakdown. Shout out to his channel. Check out his channel. He's been breaking down some of our stuff. He's got a huge following. He talks about, traditional martial arts, and he came to watch Santana versus Mook because Santana does have a Sanchow background. Mook also has a bit of a martial arts background. Of course, we had Clay Comb on the card as well. It was a karateka. So good stuff. Good stuff. Ty Petralia says he got in here mad late, but thanks for having me again, George. Brutal leg kicks. Ty, it was an absolute pleasure, man. You put on a great fight. We thought you put on a great fight, and you were professional, and you sold all your tickets, man. And you're not even from California, dude. You're from Vegas. Like, keep fucking showing these people how to be professionals, man. Like some of these guys, Gary, I'm just gonna say it here, man. If you can't sell 10 tickets, if you can't sell 5 or 10 tickets, and especially if you show up with a goose egg, you're a fucking liability, bro. You're a liability because the promoter has to pay for insurance per fight. The promoter, like me, because not all of them do it, I'm paying for the live stream. You've seen the quality of that live stream, Gary. I'm paying for that, Gary. I'm paying the photographer, and I'm paying to keep the copyright of the pictures so you guys can use them.
Yeah.
I do all this shit for these guys, right? And I got people showing up not selling a single ticket. If you sell less than 10, hell, even 15, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. No promotion is going to want that. Not even for me. Forget me. Fuck me. You don't have to say fuck you, George. I'm saying fuck me. Forget me. Who the hell's going to – what promotion – a promotion calls me up. Hey, how does this guy – that's the first thing they're going to ask. How's this guy sell? 3 tickets, 0 tickets. They're gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Is what it is, bro.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
You can only do so much, man.
It is what it is. Anyway, yeah, and I do want to come to Vegas. And do a show there. I definitely want to do a show there. That's something we're definitely thinking about. Next up, I'm sorry we're getting through this so slowly, you guys. Zane Trod versus Julian Bocadoro. This was a very interesting fight. Zane is the brother of Hamza Trod. Of course, not nearly as experienced. This was his first fight, taking on Julian Bocadoro, who also didn't have much experience. A little more than Zane, though. And it was a good fight. I felt like Zane was landing the more telling shots, again, the more significant strikes. I think that's what won him the fight. But he was completely gassed by the second round. I want to say in the third round, he went out there with nothing. And I do think he needs to work on that because Bocadoro, he was really playing to the crowd. He's a very fun, playful guy. But had he been serious in there, he might have gotten Zane out of there.
Mm-hmm.
He would have definitely won had he been kind of listening to his corner.
Yeah.
And he needs to go work on that cardio.
Definitely cardio is a big thing.
Yeah.
Cardio. And it doesn't, because like we were just talking about earlier, when you start getting tired, all your skill, all your defense, all that goes out the window, and you start getting caught with something, and that's the perfect time for you to get put out of there. And I think it's a learning lesson, like you said, both guys early in there. I like the showmanship by Julian. That's I mean,
he was
you want to tell
he was screaming to the audience in between rounds. I'm new. I was like trying not to laugh. I'm trying to be a professional there. I'm like, bro, this guy's hilarious. But
it's good to bring to yourself, and I'm always, as long as you back it up, I'm good with it, man. I like it and everything. It's funny, it's good, but each guy at the beginning of the career probably learned something that, like I said earlier, that's what the amateurs are for.
Yeah.
Get that out the way now. Learn. I see what I need to work on.
Yeah. And
There's going to be guys that pressure you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until they break you.
And Isaac McCary is saying something interesting. He's saying you can't turn your head so many times and fall to the ground so many times. I agree with that. I think that was kind of annoying, and I think if you turn your back enough times, a referee will stop the fight.
Yeah.
You can't do that, but I still think like he just landed more significant strikes, which is what the judge scoring criteria is. I mean, if they think you landed the bigger shots, they're going to think you win. I thought it was a close fight. I did think it was a close fight. I just think, Zane needs to do something about his cardio, and Julian needs to just focus and plug in, dude. Focus and plug in, and you probably win that fight, So, yeah, that's pretty much all.
Yeah, no, I do agree with Isaac. It could be a technique to stall the fight and stall it out, get yourself together. Because that's the whole, what I was saying when people were saying with Deontay Wilder spinning around and, the ref should have came in. No, you're trying to stop him getting knocked out.
Well, before I move forward, again, onto the last fight, I want to ask you guys to please subscribe and join the channel. It's just $9.99 a month. And that's how you support me. And save me a little bit of money, because I come out of my own fucking pocket for everybody. And if anybody wants to help out or sponsor, I would greatly appreciate it. And I love these fighters very much, and I want to take care of them. But I need to work like 3 more jobs, I guess, to be able to do this for a living, Gary. So if people just join the channel, then I can only have to have 2 more jobs instead of 3 more jobs to continue to pay in my efforts to build the greatest boxing promotion in the world, and to continue to build these fantastic fighters who I really enjoy all of them and care about them all deeply.
Yeah.
All these fighters, I will say for the most part, like, everybody was professional on this card. We did have, like, unfortunately, like 10 to 11, maybe 10 to 12 pullouts, which is absolutely disgraceful. And I keep telling people, if you're going to pull out over like weak shit, like, don't sign up. But for the most part, everybody was professional. I greatly appreciate that. If you want to repay the promotion, sell tickets, join the channel, and buy merchandise. That's how you help build this promotion, and that's how you help me create a platform for you guys. I do think at this point, especially when it comes to local and regional promotions, Gary, we're doing a bit more. We're doing a bit more than others. And so I just want people to get on board and help out. It's not just for me. It's for these fighters, man. It all costs money. None of it is free. Okay, on to the next one. Oh, and I also want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for allowing Gary Martin to actually be on this thing on time for the first time in his career. And so thank you, God, for making that happen for us.
I almost told you to suck something. But anyway.
Okay, next up we had 175-pound division fighters Tariq Wright taking on Luis Campos. I thought this was a really exciting fight. These are 2 guys that in their next fight, I believe they're going to be able to remove the stupid, ridiculous headgear that the California State Athletic Commission is trying to force on fighters to 5 fights, which I hope they don't do. But they get to take it off. But these are a pair of fighters that will be at the front end of the card in their next fight, because these 2 are a couple of animals. And let me tell you, I thought this was a really close fight. I thought Lewis opened up this fight beautifully, landing a bunch of big body shots. I thought his boxing won him the first round. I thought the second round was close. I thought he edged it again, just landing the bigger shots with his boxing. The third round, he looked like he was gassed. Perhaps he was thinking about what he was going to do after the fight, where he literally proposed to his, the mother of his daughter, of his child. Congrats to them. Incredible.
Congrats.
We've never had a proposal at FightersRep.
You're doing it big now. You get proposals.
Right. I must be doing something right. Somebody loves me up there. But congrats to them. Super proud of them getting married, doing it right, doing it through wedlock. I do believe that sets a great example for the kids. And congrats to him for winning the fight. A fantastic fight, a close fight. Had it gone to Tariq, I would have still thought Lewis edged it, but it was that close. But shout out to Luis Campos, man, and shout out to Tariq. I look forward to having them back.
I thought it was an awesome fight. I see Lewis is in here. I do have a question for him.
Yeah.
If he would have lost, what would that proposal been? That was a big risk. Hey, that was some balls right there.
Now listen to what he's saying, though. This is in reference to the headgear. Yes, sir. Can't slip any shots and
I can't see much. Yeah.
And I want all of you to know this, right? I'm looking into the camera. I want all of you to know this. The commission, the Athletic Commission in California, had a meeting today. As I was taking care of my children, I was on that Zoom call on my phone. And they opened it up for the public, and only 3 or 4 people said anything. And only one of them said anything about the headgear situation. And I want you to guess who that was. It might be an asshole on your screen right now wearing a funny red hat. So I went to bat again for the safety of this community, for the solvency of this community, because nobody wants to watch headgear fights. The fighters don't want headgear. The coaches don't want headgear. We did a poll. It was 82% didn't want it. It's not safer. That's proven through science. It protects against cuts. It does not protect against concussions. It causes more. I went to bat for our community today. Nobody else did. And I cannot win. I cannot win by myself.
George.
I'll leave it at that.
I have a strategy for you, George. This
Punch
comes from my favorite.
Punch myself in the face really hard, knock myself out so I don't have to do this shit anymore?
No. Well, I mean, that's a strategy you want to go with. But no, I have a strategy for you to get this done. It's from my favorite movie. You need to paint half your face like blue, like Braveheart. Get on, come to the meeting with half your face blue and give that speech. You know what I'm saying? Like Mel Gibson gave him Braveheart. But anyways, seriously though. I mean,
you may take our safety, but you'll never take away our sport.
That's a good one. That's my favorite movie, right? That's
by the way, I also expressed to them, right, that besides that study out there that said that headgear causes more damage, I told them that out of my 5 fights that I've ever had where we had to transfer to the hospital, we've only had to transport 5 fighters to the hospital in our history. Out of those 5, Gary, 4 of them were wearing headgear. Continue.
Yeah. See, you can't handle the truth. That's funny. But anyway, no, what I was going to say is with Luis Campos, I mean, back to what I was joking about, I said, it took a lot of balls to propose knowing you're going to fight it and not knowing how that outcome's going to go. But, hey, you did it, man. You did it. But, man. That was
I know, but I had to keep my faith, brother, and hope the best.
Hey, that's every time. Hey, when you see guys playing that out, you like, I mean, you better hope it goes right.
And what a warrior. I mean, Lewis's face was swollen on one side too, Gary. Like he took.
She's gonna take care. She took care of him that night.
I know, but
she took care of him.
I'm saying though, that was a tough fight, man. Man, Tariq's no joke. That was a tough fight.
Yeah, it was a good fight. I love to see both of them in the ring again.
Yeah.
Whether they or run it back with each other or with someone else, it was a great fight. It was an entertaining fight. Yeah. I do think Lewis boxing was a little bit better. Yeah. I like, I mean, we've discussed a bit before. A lot of times, even though it's kickboxing, you do kick and everything. The hands are right here, close, and a lot of times that can win it for you.
Gary, where are they? No, but you're right. Isaac McCary says I've had a headache only after my fight with headgear. Never had a headache or anything when I fight without it. And if anything, it poses more danger. I'll be honest too. Sparring with headgear gave me a massive headache. That's the worst headache I ever had was sparring.
I mean, and I could see and you can say, because I don't get hit by a shot with the headgear.
I know what you're gonna say, Gary. Yes, there is headgear that fits me, Gary.
I don't even think you need headgear because you got the big block head that can eat up anything, but whatever. But no, I can see it because even like sparring, I got hit with a shot I couldn't see I couldn't see, and I didn't know where I mean, maybe I'm not that great of a boxer, but I didn't see it, and I can see how that is because I know football players a lot of times when they wear these visors and things, they say you can't see out of the corner when you're looking. So I can see how that could be annoying with the headgear and everything. So hopefully they don't do it. So planning up, George. Get on the horse with a kilt.
Like this.
Do you see my award? Do you see my award?
Just stab them with the award. I'll tell them to wear their headgear and try to protect themselves. Okay. And we have a Tarek. He says, if anything, it poses more danger. So shout out to Tarek. He was in here as well. And yeah, man. And that was the last fight of the evening, man. That was a really good fight. That was a really good fight. So Joseph Claycomb's in here. He says,
oh shit.
Who has actually fought bare knuckle without a mouthpiece in here?
I didn't mean to click that.
Besides me, mouthpieces weren't invented in the Middle East in the 80s. So that's back when Joseph was doing karate in Bahrain. And in the 80s, he was fighting, and they were basically punching each other in the face, Gary, with no mouthpiece.
End up like Adrian Broner did, with no teeth.
But that's the card, guys. I am going to ask you guys for a couple of favors. Join the channel. It's just $9.99 a month. I promise you I'll bitch about it less, that I have to come out of pocket all the time to do this for everybody. And I promise the show will get much better. As long as you guys support and buy merchandise and drop super chats. Subscribe to the channel so we can continue to grow the channel organically as well. Finally, we have an email list now. So I want you to go to the website, FightersRep.com, and join the Knucklehead Nation mailing list. It's the tab at the top. You might get discounts to future shows. You'll be ahead of the game. You'll get news before everybody else does. You'll get links to discounts for merchandise as well. And, you'll know all about us and be able to stay in touch. So please do that. I definitely think it's worth your time. And thank you for joining us. We've been on this almost an
2 hours. That's the longest one.
Our wives are going to divorce.
I can't believe they came here and looked at your face that long.
I know.
I mean, they have me to look at too. So I guess that balances it out.
It offsets it. Yeah. Because you're so pretty, Gary.
See, you had the clean cut at the show too. It's all cleaned up, looking all debonair and everything. Okay, you didn't do that for us down here in Florida. You're looking all rough. Now you're like clean. I had to go LA be a movie star over there.
Hey.
But yeah, I got to eat dinner, bro.
Yeah. Thank you guys all for your time. Thank you for joining us. Please continue to support the promotion. Please continue to support these fighters. Reach out to us if you want to sponsor. We definitely need sponsors to help us to continue to grow and push these fighters along. Reach out to the fighters as well. I can make that happen if you sponsor us. Maybe we can share some with the fighter and sponsor them as well. These guys don't have a lot of money. And that's also part of the reason I'm pissed at the bloodwork situation that they're trying to pass too, because they're going to price people out. I mean, I have coaches that are telling me they got to buy their guys mouthpieces because the kids don't even have money to buy a mouthpiece. I mean, I don't know what we're doing over here. Anyway, God bless. Appreciate you guys. Knucklehead Nation, you guys are the best. We're out. Gary, thank you for your time, bro.